If everyone was meant to win, then they would have made the podiums bigger. And what I mean by that is it's supposed to be rare company. If you're pursuing something that is in and of itself rare, being successful is usually a rarity in the sphere that you're pursuing. And in the same sense, you have to be doing things that are rare. You have to be doing things that most people would think is weird, and not in the sense to where you're going way out of your way to do way more than that's necessary. And this is where I kind of defer with those guys like David Goggins and people to that same regard, because I don't think you have to go run 80 miles just to have a stronger mindset. I don't think you have to go do these super outlandish things. And I'm not knocking them, you know what I mean? I think everybody has their own mental battle. But if you want to be successful in something, you just have to give it more than you think. Just keep giving something more than you think. And you're not supposed to always love it. You're not supposed to find something that you enjoy. Whenever you're chasing your dreams, it might not feel like you're chasing your dreams, if that makes sense. I used to always think whenever I was going to chase my dreams, it would just feel magical. You know what I mean? It would feel like everything was falling into place, and it was what I was supposed to be, pursuing. And I assumed that what would come with the pursuit of the goal would be fulfillment. And in a certain sense now I'm starting to feel that and understand it, but I also understand that sacrifice is inevitable if you want to achieve a goal that you're pursuing. And there's equal exchange with everything that you're pursuing. You can't assume that you are going to be more focused and more determined without spending less time with people that you care about. You can't assume that you're going to be more determined, more driven without doing things that you enjoy less often, without having to go out with your friends as often, maybe not drinking as often, maybe not going and doing all these things that are fun and enjoyable. You have to make sacrifices. And I'm not saying don't enjoy life. I'm not saying don't go and do things that are, not aligned with your goal, because I think there's a time and place where you need to have that release and that exemption from pursuit and give yourself a break. Because if you don't do that, I don't think you're going to maybe burn out per se, but I think you're not going to work as well as a machine. And not only that, there are some people that can just keep working and keep going, and they think that they have to keep going, but I think that also leads to an unfulfilling life. If you, like I talked about this in a couple of videos ago, if you make your goal and your pursuit your idol, then you're going to still find unfulfillment at the end of the tunnel. And the reason being is because you're going to miss out on so much more. You're going to miss out on, maybe a relationship or a friendship, or having kids in the future with this person, or you're just not going to enjoy all the things of life. Traveling and doing all of these things are not going to be met if you are just focused on one goal. I don't think that's a healthy mindset to have. I understand that everybody preaches you have to give it 100%, you have to give it everything that you have, and it takes, like I opened with, it takes a rare intensity, and it takes a rare drive in order to achieve a goal, but it doesn't take everything that you have. And it's ignorant to think that it does. You can't give anything everything. You can't give one thing in your entire life everything that you have. Maybe in a split moment you can give a lift whenever you're pushing everything that you have in that exact moment, but whenever you're resting or whenever you're going to do something else, you're not working out. And maybe in the same sense, that resting is still giving your muscles everything that you can to grow, but it's not lifting weights. You see what I'm saying? So you can still move forward by enjoying life. And whenever you're enjoying life, you're going to feel better about pursuing your goal. If you're making yourself get into this box where it's just you and your goal, a lot of the time, even if you achieve it, it just leads to emptiness. So, I don't want to preach that you don't have to work that hard. You have to work really, 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 really hard in order to achieve a goal. That's a given, but you don't have to give it everything. And I think if you give it everything, you are going to find yourself empty. Give it a lot. Try to give it everything, honestly. Try to give it everything. You're going to find that you can't. You're going to find that with whatever you're pursuing, you can't. And a lot of the time, especially with things that are physical, I think that it's physical and mental go hand in hand, and we just don't realize it with mental because it's not as apparent. Like with basketball, I used to give it everything that I had, freshman, junior, freshman, sophomore, and junior year. I gave it everything that I have. And even senior year, I trained extremely hard, but I trained more focused, I recovered more, I enjoyed life more, and I played better. I played better. And whenever I was beating my body up every single day, not like hardly sleeping, training all day, watching the scouting report, watching film with my coach, going into his office, getting up at 6 a.m., training before breakfast, training after breakfast, training before my classes, training after practice, going after classes, training before practice, training after we'd get done running on the track, I'd go train, and then I'd wake up and do the same thing every single day. And that didn't make me a better basketball player. Whenever I started to realize that I need to enjoy this and I need to pursue it with the same intention of I can give it all that I have in the moment, like weightlifting, but if you're not giving yourself a moment to relax and rest, you're just tearing yourself down. And it's the same with any goal. If you can give it a shit ton and give it a lot of effort, and that is important that you do that, but find the right time and place that you set aside time to enjoy life and the right time and place to work hard. Give yourself times during the day where it's like, this is my time where I work. This is my time where I do this. And you build these habits of things that you're going to do every single day, and also build habits of resting, recovering, and enjoying life and spending time with friends. So that's the message for today, kind of similar to the one I gave 2 or 3 days ago, but I think it's important. It came on my heart in the middle of this message, so I wanted to deliver it again. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and have a blessed one.